Okay. So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be discussing the Indian Express newspaper. We will go through the important articles of the day and we will try to understand what is going on in the country and how it is important for us from the exams point of view. Okay. So let's start with the discussion here. We will be going through these important articles over here, removing vice president. We will be seeing that in the front page there is this article which is given opposition to submit notice for resolution to impeach Dhankar. Okay, when we are talking about Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, he is our vice president and he is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So opposition has decided to go for the, you can say, resolution for the impeachment, and they will be giving a notice of 14 days. So we will go through the important articles which are there in the constitution talking about the removal of the vice president. Okay, so we will talk about that. We will be seeing the procedure with respect to that. Okay, then coming to the next one, calm influence revenue secretary Sanjay Malhotra picked as next RBI governor. Okay, so here Sanjay Malhotra, next RBI governor. We will be talking about this article. We'll also see how appointment of governor is done. Okay, so we'll also talk about the procedure here. Okay, then we'll be moving to the next one, Israel's concern in Syria. Okay, recently you know that Syria has been going through these issues and the opposition rebels over there has taken control of the Syria, and the president, the government over here has to collapse and the president has to flee. Okay, so we will be talking about the concerns Israel is a neighboring country over there and Israel has with Syria. So we will be talking about that and we will see why Israel has gone for a certain kind of attack on Syria recently. Okay, so that's about the you can say outline of the you can say our live session. Then we will be moving to the next part, that is your fact of the day, then constitutional amendment, and in the end we will be going for a article that is for your own read, and then we will be looking at the MCQ practice. Okay, now let's start with the first thing, that is your practice question. The Hornbill festival is celebrated in which Indian state? Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. There is no doubt about it. Option B is your answer. We have yesterday talked about the Hornbill festival and we have also seen that what is the issue with respect to the alcohol, etc. Okay, so that is about the Hornbill festival. Now before moving further, we are starting with the first batch over here in the Noida sector 15. As you know that the Mukherjee Nagar Drishti IAS classes has been shifted to Noida sector 15. Okay, so when we are talking about the Hindi medium, batch has already started. Admissions are still open. When we are talking about the English medium, batch will be starting from the 12th of December 6 p.m. Okay, for more information you can call on this number, that is 9311406440. For Prayagraj Center, UPSC GS Foundation course will be started on 2nd of January 2025, both in Hindi as well as English medium. Timings will be different. For Hindi medium that is 6 p.m, for English medium that is 5:30 p.m. Okay. Now let's move further. Before that, you know about the Sambhav 2025 initiative which have been launched by Drishti IAS on the website. So this is open for all access. So you can go and explore this particular initiative over there, wherein we are going for the you can say the integrated approach towards the prelims as well as mains. Okay, so we'll be giving you 10 daily prelims practice questions and the 2 mains practice questions for you. Okay, so that would be helpful for your preparation. Now coming to the first part, that is fact of the day. Now today we'll be talking about the foreign exchange reserve. Recently what has happened, that we have seen that FII was going out. There was this you can say outflow of the investment which was there, and because of which we have seen that there was a decline in the forex reserve. Okay, so after that decline, now it has started to move upward again. Okay, so foreign exchange reserve are asset that hold on reserves by central bank in the foreign currency. When we are talking about the foreign exchange reserve, these are the reserves which are held by the central bank, that is RBI in case of India. Okay, so India's RBI will be keeping some reserve with them. Now these reserves are of the foreign currency, gold and other assets. Okay, so we'll be talking about that. It can include banknotes, deposits, bonds, treasury bills and other government securities. Following in 1990-91 economic crisis, C. Rangarajan and Y.V. Reddy committee recommended the maintaining Forex reserve to cover 12 months of imports. Okay, so here you can see this committee, C. Rangarajan committee and Y.V. Reddy committee, they have recommended that we should have at least 12 months of the Forex reserve, or which can cover for the 12 months of the imports. Okay, now what are the components of the Forex foreign reserve? Here you can see foreign currency assets. Now there is a basket which forms the Forex reserve. In the Forex reserve, we consider there are certain currencies which are kept over here. Gold is kept, then our special drawing rights of the IMF that are kept, and reserve position with the IMF. These are the things which are forming the bucket of the Forex reserve in India. So there are certain currency notes or the foreign currencies. So these currencies include US dollars. Okay. Now these are the you can see the hard currencies, or you can say those kind of currencies which are having a good value in the market, and for trade also they are important. Okay, so US dollar, euro, Japanese yen. Okay, so these are some of the currencies which are there in the our foreign reserve. When we are talking about the Forex reserve. Okay, now coming to the next one, gold reserves. Now gold has long been valued as a key reserve asset, offering the both stability and the universal acceptance. Recently we have discussed that why India and the otherwise also, when we are talking about the other central banks in the country, other central banks all over the world, so all of these central banks are actually going for the accumulation of gold because dollar is getting stronger. Okay, so that is why they are accumulating gold in their Forex reserve. Then coming to the next one, that is special drawing rights, SDRs. The SDR are created by the International Monetary Fund, are reserve asset that supplement member countries official reserves. Okay, so these are special drawing rights with respect to the IMF. Coming to the next one, reserve position with IMF, it is the portion of the required quota currency each member country must provide to IMF. Okay, so there is this particular quota, each member country has to provide that currency to the IMF, so that is also basically considered as Forex reserve. Okay, so these are basically four component of India's Forex reserve. As I told you, now earlier there was this you can say fall in the Forex reserve which was there, and now it has started to pick up again. Okay, now moving further and looking at the Constitutional Amendment 100 and the Second Amendment Act 2018. Constitutional status was provided to the National Commission for Backward Classes under India's Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Okay, under that they have introduced Article 338B into the Constitution after Article 338A, 338 and 338A, which deals with the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, and 338 is for the Scheduled Tribe. So basically now they have given the National Commission of Backward Classes a constitutional status. Earlier it was a statutory body, now it is a constitutional body. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now moving further, last constitutional amendment which we will be discussing in our section, session of the constitutional amendment. After that, from tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, we will be starting with the new session with respect to geography or the PYQs. Okay, so you can tell me in the comment box if you want geography or you want PYQs. Okay, now 103rd Amendment Act 2019. Now this is the you can say reservation for the economically weaker section, that is EWS. So for the first time in India they have given this EWS reservation, and that is 10%. Okay, and this is outside the cap of 50% which we already had from the Indira Sahani judgment. Okay, so that is basically 10% reservation, and Article 16 has been amended with respect to that. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now this is it with the constitutional amendments. Now we will be moving further with the next one. Okay, now starting with the first one, that is opposition set to submit notice for resolution to impeach Dhankar. Now Rajya Sabha chairman and the vice president Jagdeep Dhankar is set to come as, to a head as India bloc parties has decided to submit a notice to move no confidence or the impeachment resolution against him. Okay, now when we are talking about the removal of president, vice president, etc., in case of president we have impeachment that is there. Okay, now when we are talking about the vice president also there is this procedure, and this procedure is given in the Article 67. Okay, Article 67 of the Indian Constitution has given about the term and then the procedure for the removal. So we will be talking about that as well. Now why is that opposition is trying to go for such procedure or the impeachment over here? So we will see. Opposition parties do not have numbers in the house to ensure Dhankar's impeachment as vice president, but are contemplating the move very soon as a political signal. Now, obviously, considering the Lok Sabha election now, we know that opposition parties do not have that kind of mandate with them that they can pass this resolution, but still they are going forward with it. Why? Because they are trying to give a signal that there is something wrong which is happening, okay, and in that regard they have moved this particular motion. Okay, so we'll be seeing that what is the issue here. Let's see. Opposition claims Dhankar's action as Rajya Sabha chairman have undermined the constitutional offices, democracy and the parliamentary traditions. Okay, allegation includes curtailing debates, restricting the opposition members' participation and perceived bias in the conduct of proceedings. Now, these are the allegations which has been made by the opposition, and considering that, they are saying that they will be going for the 14 days notice for the resolution, and then they will be going for the resolution as well. Okay. Now, the thing is, session will be ending on 20th of December, and we won't be having this 14 days, but still they are going for it. So, we are not going into technicalities over here, because anyway this will not survive, this motion will not survive, but there is something which is happening. Okay. Now, here you can see Article 67 clause subclause B in the Constitution of India. Let's see. A vice president may be removed from his office by a resolution of the Council of States passed by majority. First thing, that when we are talking about the removal of vice president, resolution will be passed by the Council of States, that is basically Rajya Sabha. So, where can you introduce the motion for removal? In the Rajya Sabha only. First thing which you have to remember. Okay. Second is passed by majority of all the then member of the council and agreed to by the House of the People. First, they will be going for the majority of all then member. Okay. So, all the members which are there, their majority they will be taking in the Rajya Sabha, then it should be approved by the Lok Sabha as well. So, both the houses has to pass this. So, here you can see the majority of all the members of the council and agreed by the House of People, but no resolution for the purpose of this clause shall be moved unless at least 14 days notice has been given to the for the intention of the resolution. So, basically before the resolution you are putting in front on the table, you have to go for a 14 days of notice. Okay. So, that is being talked about in the Article 67. So, one thing which is different over here is that the resolution should be introduced in the Rajya Sabha only. Okay. So, that is your Council of States. Now, if you are asked about that which article is talking about this, that is Article 67 clause B. Okay. Now, and second thing is the 14 days notice must be given. In the case of president's removal as well, 14 days notice is there in the provision. Okay. Now, so this is about your issue with respect to the impeachment of vice president here. Other than that, no precedent. If we talk about the past, whether there have been a precedent or not. So, while there is no precedent for a no confidence motion or impeachment resolution being moved against the Rajya Sabha chairman, opposition in 2020 submitted no confidence resolution against the Rajya Sabha deputy chairman Harivansh. Okay. So, there is a precedent with respect to the impeachment or the resolution for the impeachment for deputy chairman, that is that was there in 2020, but still we do not have any precedent with respect to the removal of vice president as of now. Okay. Article 90 of the Constitution deals with the vacation and the resignation and removal of the office of deputy chairman. So, here Article 67 is talking about the removal of you can say chairman, and Article 90 is talking about the removal of you can say deputy chairman. Okay. Now, there is one more thing, that resolution with respect to the Lok Sabha speaker's impeachment or the removal, that has been there. Okay, but yet they did not pass, but resolution has been there. So, resolution against the first Lok Sabha speaker G.V. Mavalankar in 1951, that was there. After that, Speaker Sardar Hukum Singh in 1966 and Speaker Balram Jakhar in 1987. These are the instances wherein the you can say resolution has been put in front of the parliament, but again they were not passed. Here you can say no vice president has been impeached in the India's history. Similar motion against the presiding officer, that is Lok Sabha and Lok Sabha speaker, have been attempted but were unsuccessful. Okay. So, that is about the precedents. They can ask you about this thing because recently they have asked about how many delimitation commission has been there. Okay. So, they might ask you about the trend, they might ask you about the precedent, whether someone was removed earlier or not. So that is the answer, that resolutions has been there but they were unsuccessful, so impeachment has not happened. Okay, so that is about this article. Now we will be moving to the next one, that is calm influence. Revenue Secretary Sanjay Malhotra picked as the next RBI governor. Now when we talk about the RBI governor's terms, so basically generally it is decided by the appointing authority. When it was, the appointment was made, at that point of time it is said that he is appointed for the time of, let's say, 5 years or 3 years. When we are talking about the Sanjay Malhotra, he has been appointed for the next 3 years. Okay, so let's see. Sanjay Malhotra, a 1990 batch Indian Administrative Service officer, currently Revenue Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, has been appointed as the next Governor of Reserve Bank of India. Okay, he will be the 26th RBI Governor with effect from December 11 for a period of 3 years. Okay, so please remember that is for a period of 3 years. Now we will be talking about the procedure with respect to the appointments. Okay, so in India the process is entirely political one. Now obviously when we are talking about the you can say some offices like that of RBI Governor, now there is formal procedure wherein the committee is there. Now committee will recommend the name to the government and then government will be appointing it. Okay, so it is kind of a political process. So though an appointment committee is the formal vehicle designated to shortlist the candidate for the job, in reality the Prime Minister's office chooses the governor after consulting with the finance ministry and the outgoing governor. Okay, so here who is the authority? So basically prime minister's office, that is basically you can say that the government of the day is basically deciding on the position of governor of the RBI. Okay, now moving further, the RBI governor is appointed after the proposal made by the Financial Sector Regulatory Appointment Search Committee, that is FSRASC. Okay, again Financial Sector Regulatory Appointment Search Committee. Okay, so this is the committee which will be going for the formal proceeding over here. So RBI governor is appointed after the proposal made by the FSRASC. Okay, headed by the cabinet secretary. In the absence of the governor, a deputy governor nominated by him functions as the chairman of the central board. If there is no governor, so in the absence we have the deputy governor. He will be taking care of the business of the bank. Okay, now other than that there are certain other points. The governor and the deputy governors hold office for a period not exceeding 5 years. Now not exceeding 5 years, but there can be lesser period as well, like in the recent case Sanjay Malhotra has been appointed for 3 years. Okay, so that is the, you can say, discussion with the government, but the maximum period is 5 years, but the term of the governor may be fixed by the government at the time of his appointment. As I told you, the governor and also the deputy governor is eligible for the reappointment or extension according to RBI Act. Okay, so they can be going for the reappointment and the extension as well. So this is something which you should know about the appointment of the RBI governor. So this is kind of a political process, because the government is deciding. There is no formal, you can say, independent authorities which are there for the appointment. So government will be deciding that on the advice of the finance ministry and the outgoing RBI governor. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now we can move further to the next article, which is related to the cautious Israel seizes buffer zone, attacks strategic weaponry systems in Syria. So you know that this issue has always been there when we are talking about the Israel and Syria. They have also this historical rivalry was there when we are talking about the war which has happened in 1967. At that point of time, you must remember that Israel has occupied the areas of Syria, that is Golan Height area, which has been occupied by Israel. Here you can see in the map, this is your Israel, this border which is there. In the west we have Israel. Okay, and this portion over here which is there in blue, this portion is basically your Golan Heights. Okay, now these Golan Heights are basically occupied by Israel in 1967 war, and they did not give it back. Now in that particular war there are other areas which has also been occupied, like when we are talking about the Golan Heights, that was one. Okay, other than that, the Sinai Peninsula, you must have heard about Sinai Peninsula, which has also been occupied by the Israel from the Egypt. Okay, but then in 1973 there was some kind of agreement which has happened and they have given it back to the Egypt, but the Golan Heights stayed with the Israel. Okay, so still this area is controlled by Israel. Now they are having this direct border Okay. Now, if there is a instability in this particular area, that means that that is not very good for Israel as well. Now, when we are talking about the opposition rebels over here, when we are talking about the opposition rebels over here, which has taken control of these areas now, because they have ousted, you can say there was this fall of the government of President Assad, and they have taken control of these areas. So, the opposition forces over here, opposition forces, or you can say opposition rebels, they are basically supported by Russia and Iran. They are supported by Russia and Iran, and you know that Israel does not have very good feelings about Iran and Russia. So considering that, if there is a government which is over here, which is controlled by, or you can say supported by Russia and Iran, so that is not in benefit of Israel. Now considering that, what Israel has recently done is that they have attacked the you can say some important strategic locations in Syria. Cautious Israel seized buffer zone, that is they have created a buffer zone, one thing. Second is attacks the strategic weapon systems. Okay. In 2013 or around that, the Syria has actually removed all the chemical weapons, okay, most of their chemical weapons, but there are certain which was all available over there, and certain weapon systems are also there. Now Israel has targeted these weapon system, considering that there is a non-state actor which is there in control. Now they do not want that such kind of weapon systems should be in the hands of the non-state actors, and that is why they have actually removed it. Okay. So let's see over here what has happened recently. Israel has struck suspected chemical weapon site and long range rockets in Syria in order to prevent them from falling into the hands of the hostile actors. Okay. Now when I said the non-state actor, that means that for Israel considered them as the non-state actor. Okay. Because they are rebels and which were supported by the, you can say, Russia and Iran. Now considering this particular fact, you can see they are saying that in the hands of the hostile actors, these are rebels, okay, and they are not following any kind of rule of law. So considering that, they were concerned about it. So they were concerned about a potential security vacuum in the country. Now right now the government has fallen. There is this government which has been there for the 50 years, okay. When we are talking about the President Abbas, he has been there for the 24 years. Before that, his father was there. So considering that, we can say that right now, after he fled the country and he has gone to Russia, but the thing is, there is no formal government which has been established in Syria as of now. So there is a political vacuum which is there in Syria. So considering that, Israel was concerned about it. So concerned about a political security vacuum in the country, Israelis has welcomed the fall of Assad, who was a key ally of Iran and Lebanon's Hezbollah militant groups. Okay. Sorry, I must have told you that these opposition groups are supported by, no, there was this misconception. Now when we are talking about this particular area, this was earlier controlled by government, and government was of Assad, and this was supported by the Russia and Iran. Okay. Now this particular area has been taken by the opposition. Now earlier this opposition was supported by USA, but the thing is, then they have actually had some kind of connection with the IS as well. Okay. And considering that, USA is not supporting opposition anymore. Okay. Now Israel is the ally of USA, and that is why Israel is also not very fond of these particular people being in power over here. Okay. Now Israel and USA, if we talk about, they are basically supporting the Kurdish militia over there. But anyways, the concern of Israel is that these are the hostile actors which are over here, and they do not want that the weapons like chemical weapons, etc. Are in their hands, and that is why they have destroyed the facilities. I'm sorry, there was this misconception. Again, I'm telling you, there are 2-3 actors. I'll tell you. Now when we are talking about this particular, this is the map of Syria. When we are talking about this area which is there in red, that was earlier under the Syrian government. Okay. Now this Syrian government, that is under President Assad, this particular government was supported by Russia and Iran. Okay. So neither USA or you can say the Israel, they were you can say very fond of this government. Okay. But again, when we are talking about this, the fall of the government, so Israel has said that yes, they have here you can say Israel has welcomed the fall of the Assad government. They have welcomed the fall of the Assad government, but they are not they are still concerned about the security issue because these actors who has taken power over here, these are basically your opposition rebels. These opposition rebels are hostile actors. They do not have any kind of rule of law, they are not following these you can say rules, etc., and that is why they do not want that these weapon systems should go in their hands. Okay, so that is why Israel has actually destroyed that. So this is given that Israel was not in favor of the Assad's government, and they are happy about it, but the thing is they are not very sure about the presence of the opposition rebels over here. Okay, Israel has welcomed the fall of Assad, who was a key ally of Iran and Lebanon's Hezbollah militant groups, while expressing the concerns over the what comes next. Now, when we are talking about this particular issue, you should be very cautious because there are various stakeholders which are acting in, you can say, this particular region. If I tell you first, this particular area when we are talking about, this is the Kurdish region. Okay, this is Kurdish militia controlled region. Now, in this area, Turkey also has the influence. The Turkey do not want them to be here. Okay, so there are two kind of actors which are there. One is your Turkey, second is your Kurdish militia. Now, this Kurdish militia is supported by USA. So, USA's presence is also there. There are nearly 900 troops which are present in Syria, that is USA's troops. Okay. Then there was the Syrian government which was there and which was supported by the Russia and Iran. So, these actors were also here. There was a time when Russia and USA's forces has become, they came, face to face. Okay, but there was no war, but still they came face to face. So, Russia's presence is there, Iran's presence is there. Other than that, Hezbollah is supporting this particular government because Hezbollah is the proxy of Iran and they are supporting this government. Okay, so considering that there are various stakeholders which are there, confusion can be there, but in the last video we have discussed them in detail and I have told you everything, all in equations. So if you are having any kind of confusion, so you can go and watch that particular video, wherein in the PDF also I have written these points so that you can, if there is confusion, you can go and read that. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now coming to the next one, the only interest we have is of the security of Israel and its citizens. That is why we have attacked the strategic weapon systems, like for example remaining chemical weapons or long range missiles and rockets, in order that will not fall in the hands of the extremists. Okay, so considering the security situation of Israel, they were concerned about their own security, being a hostile you can say organization in power in the neighboring country. So they have considered that they will go for the attacking these strategic weapon systems in the Syria. Now, airstrikes in the area of Meja military airport southwest of the capital. Israel has carried out hundreds of airstrikes in Syria in the recent years, targeting what it says the military sites related to the Iran and Hezbollah. As I told you that there are presence of various stakeholders and Iran and Hezbollah are present in this particular area. So, Israel was trying to attack those sites. Okay. Now, Syria agreed to give up its chemical weapons stockpile in 2013, which we have already said. Meanwhile, in the northern Syria, Turkey and its allied opposition forces seized the town of Manbij from the Kurdish-led forces backed by the United States. As I told you, here in this particular area, the Turkey has taken the town. This is basically your Manbij. This Manbij town over here, that has been taken control by the Turkey. Now that there is no political or the stable government in this region, there are high chances the other stakeholders will take advantage of that. So first town has been controlled and has been taken under control by the Turkey. Okay, so that is something. Now moving further, split among the armed groups. When we are talking about who will take the power, so right now there are high chances that there is this particular body that is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Yesterday we have talked about this as well. Okay, so there are various small organizations which are there. We do not know that who will be taking control of the power. This is the biggest one which is there. Okay, so that might take control of the power. Okay, how the interest of the Ankara and the Washington diverge over the support to the Kurds, who have been instrumental in the US partners in the fighting against the ISIS group. Okay. Now, Bashar al-Assad's fall was hailed by the Israel as the consequence of its campaign against the Iran and its proxies, which we have already seen that when we are talking about the Iran and its proxies, they are talking about the, you can say, axis of resistance. Axis of resistance we have talked about yesterday. Iran has a axis of resistance. One is your with Hamas, which is against Israel, okay, which is there in the Gaza Strip. Then there is Hezbollah. Hezbollah is there in Lebanon, and that is also a proxy of Iran, which is supported by Iran. And third is basically Houthis. All three H's are there. Okay, Houthis are there in Yemen. Okay, these are also supported by you can say Iran. So, but it also is concerned about who will follow in the Syria. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, while being anti-Iran, is also an Islamist group with no love for Israel. Okay, this is anti-Iran because this why this particular organization is anti-Iran, because the local government was earlier supported by Iran. Okay, so that is why this organization is against Iran. Israel is also against Iran, but the thing is, this is the Islamic organization. Okay, so they do not have any kind of positive feelings for Israel. Okay, so considering that, Israel is concerned that who will take the rule in the Syria. Now, this is about the issue and the concerns of Israel, which we have already discussed. Now we can move to the next part and next article. Supreme Court reservation cannot be on the basis of religion. Again, there was this case when we are talking about the Kolkata High Court judgment which was there. Kolkata has gone for classifying the 77 communities as OBCs. Okay, and the Kolkata High Court said that this is based on the religion. Okay, this is based on religion, and that is why this will not. This is unconstitutional. That reservation should not be on the basis of the, you can say, religion. It should be on the basis of the social and the educational backwardness, and there should be a quantifiable data. Okay, so considering that, against the Kolkata High Court's you can say order, they have come to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has again said that they have upheld the Kolkata High Court, and they have said that reservation cannot be on the basis of the religion. It should be on the basis of your socio economic backwardness. Okay, it should be on the socio-economic backwardness, and who will decide the socio-economic backwardness? So there should be a quantifiable data. Quantifiable data should be there, which is supporting the reservation, which was not there in this particular case. So Supreme Court has said that religion cannot be the basis of the you can say reservation. Now, missile frigate INS Tushil inducted into Navy. Rajnath praises the India-Russia ties. Okay, so there was this particular you can say agreement which was signed in 2016 for the making of 4 such you can say INS frigates. So here you can see there were 4 stealth frigates of Indian Navy which was supposed to be built. 2 will be built in Russia and 2 will be built in India. Okay, so out of which we have inducted one, that is INS Tushil. Okay, just remember the name of this particular you can say vessel. Other than that, there is nothing much which has been discussed over here. This is the agreement which I have told you. INS Tushil has been constructed in Russia as part of over 2.5 billion US dollars deal New Delhi has inked with Moscow in 2016 for 4 stealth frigate for Indian Navy, and they have said that why this is a proud moment, because considering the issues of in the Indian Ocean region, when we are talking about the influence of China which is rising over here, so considering that, our Navy capabilities will be increased over here. Foreign Secretary meets Delhi flag plight of the minorities, Daga says internal issues. So there was this Foreign Secretary meeting after the fall of the Sheikh Hasina's government. This is the first time we have gone for such meeting. So it indicates that we are willing to go forward with the relations with Bangladesh's new government over here. So this is kind of an acceptance that we are willing to go for the, you can say, diplomatic relations. Okay, it should not suffer the India-Bangladesh relations. But over here they have discussed about the issues. Right now, when we have talked about this, you can say ISKCON saint over here, and he was arrested and all. So in that regard and other issues, when we are talking about the cultural and the religious sites has been demolished in Bangladesh. So considering all that, so our Foreign Secretary has talked about this, and they have said that they are concerned about the status of minorities in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh has said that it is an internal issue and any other country should not be the one to tell us. Okay, so here other countries should refrain from commenting on Dhaka's internal matter, so which has been discussed in this article. Nothing much or nothing concrete has been talked about. Okay, now for your own read, there is this article, reordering of the West Asia's chessboard. Okay, so this is related to the Syria issue. Okay, we have discussed all the actors in the yesterday's session, so I will not go into details of this again, but if you want, you can read this particular article. Okay, now moving to the last part, that is your MCQ practice. How much notice is required to move a resolution for the removal of vice president under Article 67B? 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, or 1 month. Okay, so option B would you have to anyways I have told you the answer. Option B is the answer, but again, for those who has not you can say understood, you can read the particular questions and they will try at home again. Okay, you can tell me that in the comment box. Anyways, with that I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you. I'll see you in the next session. Bye.